Hey guys, I'm out here at the garden on the farm and doing a little preliminary, checking some things out, going through some of the fall crops that might need to be harvested here pretty soon, but also kind of game planning what I'm going to be putting in this spring and what eventually will be filling up the garden in the summer. And the neighbors' dogs are barking, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of tour about, show you how everything has done over the winter, and then we can also go over some of my ideas and thoughts, and then maybe you guys can give me some input as to what you think I should put in the garden this year. So I'm gonna bring you along and we're gonna go check a few things out and see how some things did, things that I could have maybe done a little bit better, things that I did well, but kind of an overview of how things went this fall. So let's go. The first area that we're going to look at right here is about 3 or 4 beds worth of what I did have lettuce in the middle of the summer, kind of going into fall. I decided to kind of close this area down just because I was going to try to work some more of the property. I wasn't going to have it all filled out, so I ended up covering it up with some straw, some of my early compost material, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't exposed. You know, you don't want to have that erosion, so that looks pretty good. This is going to be something that I haven't touched in quite a while, but if you can see, I'll just stick my hand down here. It's not too bad. Not too bad. We've got pretty good soil there. It might need a little bit of working, but not too much at all. Pretty happy with that. So next, we're going to go over here and I will show you these beds, and I'm gonna do a little close-up on these as well so you can see them. But what we have here, I'll come over here so you can see, is 2 of my landscape fabric laid down beds. Now these have lettuce in it right now. The lettuce is looking pretty good. It's not looking too bad. This is stuff I put in way late in the fall, like middle to late November, which means that it has not really grown to full maturity. So this is a kind of an experiment that I did. I want to see how it does once we get some of these warmer temperatures, kind of like we're experiencing now here at the beginning of February. But I'm expecting once March rolls around, we get some weather, I might be able to start watering out here, not have to worry about a frost or a freeze too much. If I can do that, then I'm hoping this really takes off and I have a really quick crop coming in here in this spring. So that would be a huge plus. And just kind of experiment. I'm really liking this landscape fabric. It's a pretty thick fabric. I know Curtis Stone uses it, a couple other people use it. I got this from a local guy. He had some extra. I actually had to put the holes in it, and I can guarantee you I need to get a better way of doing it. The way I did it was with my torch, and it just really labor intensive, and I'd almost be willing to pay someone to have them pre-cut if I was honest about that. So, but that's looking pretty good. As you can see, the lettuce, it's growing, looking really nice. Still pretty small. It's been out here through the weather, multiple frosts, below freezing quite a bit, but it's looking really good now. So hopefully it zooms up, takes off once the spring hits. Next, we've got some of my beds that have collards and kale in them. So I've got the kale right here and collards right here. Now, I've got to say, the collards turned out amazing. Probably the best crop I grew this past fall. I put it in a little early, to be honest. I put the collards and the kale in too early. We're in a new environment. It's not the same as Lincoln, Nebraska or Mishawaka, Indiana. Richmond has a much different climate, and so I put it in a little too early. I put it in, I think it was in September maybe. No, it was late August, thinking that, all right, I'm gonna get it in, we're gonna start, temperatures are gonna start dropping. By the time late September's there, it's gonna be perfect. We didn't start hitting these, you know, those fall type temperatures until late October. Even in November, it was still really warm out, to be honest, and so it was really different. So it, you know, it stayed really small. The kale did not go crazy because it just stunted it. But the collards, they were small, they looked really stunted. But as soon as that temperature dropped, I mean, they were just tiny for months, 2 months, because I put it out too early. But after that temperature dropped, you talk about in November, and they just just shot off. So I've just been able to come out here. We had them for around Thanksgiving. We had them all up there, around there that time. They really did great. I'm gonna pull some up here so you can see. I mean, the collards still look good. I'm hoping that as we go through spring, you know, I'll plant a new crop in, but these guys are growing so well that there's no reason to pull them out in my mind. But here is just a few leaves. You can see, I mean, compared to my head here, pretty good sized collard greens, and really tender, really delicious. They've been out here through a couple different frosts, which means that they've gotten sweeter and sweeter as the years gone on. And there's really nothing better than being able to come out to your garden, come out to just the plot, and get fresh grown, organic collard greens, really anything. It's really quite fantastic and really delicious, so I'm gonna give it a bite. Sweet, you don't get that bitterness that you might during in a, you know, summer or, you know, late spring collard greens. Really sweet, really delicious, and one that I've been really happy with. And the kale's done the same. Here, I'll pull, you know, if this can give you an idea of what the kale has looked like, nothing wrong with it. It's really been fine. It's just really tiny. It just hasn't taken off. It really hasn't exploded. There could be a lot of reasons, but me stunting it and really really just, it was not ideal conditions when I planted it. That really didn't help. But honestly, I've been able to come out about 2 to 3 times a week. I could do more, honestly, but I come out a couple times a week and I'm able to harvest kale, put it in my smoothies. Normally it's on Sunday mornings or Saturdays when I'll do something like that. Just something I can get on the go quick, but really happy with the collards, and pretty, you know, okay with the kale. Kale grew fine. It's just it didn't fare as well with my mishandling of the planting and the time when I did it. So next we'll come over here to these last 2 rows. Now we're here at the last 2 beds that I had planted out. Now this one right here that I'm kind of standing on, now that was turnips and beets. I had those in a good amount of the fall. The turnips really were growing really well, and I wasn't having any problems with them until we had a really deep frost. And I even had some in the ground, and they were getting pretty big. You can see, well, what was underneath kind of that frost layer is growing just fine, but up here it's kind of rotted out. I won't eat it. Not the biggest turnip fan. But beets grew really well. Once the weather dropped, the beets just kind of fell off a little bit. It might have been my variety, but that was a good experiment. They grew really well. And then lastly, I'll move right here so you can see right there, we had a whole bed of arugula. Now I planted that out late summer, early fall, and had arugula in it, you know, most of the year, but and it grew great. It grew really well. Only problem is Dr. Miller and myself really not a big arugula fan. So I had all this arugula, I gave away as much as possible, and that was really something that I think I needed to address this year, and I'm gonna address coming up here this spring and summer, and that is me making sure that the crops I'm growing are ones that I not only enjoy growing, but I enjoy eating. I really felt like this spring and summer, I felt I was pressured into, or this summer and fall, I was pressured into growing things that I knew other people liked. They might be high dollar value crops, and maybe that was the direction of where I was going. But now, kind of where we're at in life, what I'm up to, where we're doing, I'm really gonna be able to grow just some things that I really enjoy, not so much trying to do it for the high value crops. Yes, I'm gonna grow some things that hopefully will be able to sell and market, but the main thing is I want to grow things that not only I enjoy, but I'm able to bring other people out through farm tours, through different educational things, and that other people are going to be able to just maybe pick off and eat and enjoy, and see how easy it is and how enjoyable it really can be to have a organic, vegan a garden like this, plot like this, mini farm like this. And so that's really what I'm excited about. As you can see, I'll pan this over here, but everything that you just saw, I've got double that's under my tarps right now. So I've been tarping it with the hopes that I'll be able to pull it off and we'll be able to work that ground a lot easier. Now I have actually pulled tarps back a little bit, and it looks like there's quite a bit of life down there. Got earthworms, we have good activity, and so I'm excited about that soil, thinking that it's gonna be pretty healthy. But it's going to be ready to be worked. So as you can see, we're going to be doubling up, ramping up our production of everything that we're growing. And we're not only going to be doubling, but I'm also expecting to take it hopefully all the way out to the road. So we've got a lot of land, a lot of opportunities that we're going to be able to grow with. And so I am super excited about that. And what I want from you guys, if you have anything, I don't know what, there was something on the ground there. It was, the ground is warm, the sun was out, but it felt really warm, so, but it was fine. But if there's anything that you guys would like to see me grow, want to see grown in a vegan and organic manner in this climate, doesn't really matter the climate, but we're here in Richmond, and if there's anything you want to see, any particular crop, I know I'm thinking about a ton of hot peppers. Those are things that I grew. We just got here in Richmond too late when we moved and bought the farm, so wasn't able to grow peppers or tomatoes, but hot peppers are my #1 thing. So I will be growing a ton of hot peppers. We'll be growing cherry tomatoes. We're gonna grow some heirloom tomatoes. We're gonna grow a lot of green leafy vegetables and some exotic crops. So some heirloom varieties that you might not have heard of, things that I have seen maybe grown in the past but want to grow, so we'll be trying those out as well. We're gonna have a lot of area to do it, which I'm excited about. It's gonna be a lot of work, but luckily it's work that I love. It's stuff that I enjoy doing. One of the greatest hobbies in the world, if you ask me, is growing fruits and vegetables. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button below. Share this with anybody who might be interested in vegan, organic growing, or just gardening or farming at all. And as always, this post and all my recipe videos, my past and previous recipes, my past and previous posts can all be found at plantbasedgabriel.com. I am Plant Based Gabriel, thanking you guys so very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you very soon.